Good afternoon and welcome to The Topic, where we highlight Houston Community College, our students, our programs, and our reach into the community. I'm Todd Duplantis. Hispanic Heritage Month is celebrated from September the 15th through October 15th, and it recognizes the contributions of Hispanics to our culture and the United States. Today, we're looking at what the celebration means to some of HCC's staff and students. First up, we're going to talk with Marisa Benitez. She is the Interim Advising Manager at the Southeast College. Welcome to the show, Marisa. Good to see you here.
Hi, thank you, Todd. I'm glad to be here.
Well, thanks for being here. First off, Southeast College, got to give a shout out to you guys. We're always proud to get you on the show. Before we get to what's going on out there, because I do want to touch on it briefly of all the happenings you have going on there. Let's talk about what does Hispanic Heritage Month mean to you personally?
So for me, it holds a special place in my heart. It reminds me that the American identity is just a fabric of diverse traditions and stories just woven together. I know that Hispanic culture is so enriched in art, food, capitalized F-O-O-D, because food is number one, literature and dance, such as folklorico, as you see the dancer in the back.
Yeah.
So my grandparents were originally from Mexico, Matamoros and Miguel Alemán. So they made sure that their sons and daughters, and now my generation, to live out their traditions and values. So it's basically a time to express what and how Hispanics live every day and just bring to life for others to see and just embrace the culture.
The Southeast College, because of the part of town, you're on the east end of town, and realistically, Houston is a very diverse city. But when you think the east end of Houston, traditionally you think of Hispanic culture. Does it the most of the population for the Southeast College, are they comprised of Latinos?
So yes, of course, 100%. So I just recently moved from the Rio Grande Valley to Houston. So this little part of town, the Southeast, really reminds me of home, and definitely a lot of the connections I'm bringing to my culture to this side of town. And, one of the biggest things we see here is family, faith, dancing, and food. In our Hispanic culture, our faith is very strong. And, growing up, going to mass, participating in daily prayer and things like that. And like I mentioned earlier, food is our love language.
Yeah.
Remember, since I was a little girl, I remember us getting together, making tamales. I know everybody loves tamales, but I truly believe that that we feed our loved ones as if we're feeding our souls, and experiencing a connection and just expressing that love. And every time I come here to HCC Southeast, I feel that. I know we always have food. We're always like, hey, come have free food, but that's one of the ways we can bring the students into HCC Southeast. Another thing is dancing. I know I love to dance, just like the folklorico dancer in the back. I did do folklorico as a child, but, growing up, my grandparents loved dancing. Their style of dancing is a little bit different. It's called chotis and redoba. It's a little bit different, but it's a form of expression. And we play music all the time. I know our president, Dr. Villagrán Glover, is all about TikToks, and we're always bringing in students in and dancing, and it's just bringing in a richness, all that culture together.
You mentioned all those things: faith, food, family, dancing. Are those some of the traditions and values, the things that you value in your culture?
Oh, 100%. I mean, like I mentioned earlier, it's an expression of our love, and, just an expression of how we can display our different culture, and we can enrich our culture to everyone else. I know here at HCC, we're bringing in several different events, such as a catwalk. So it's very interesting to see that. So it's an opportunity for students can bring their attire from their countries and their favorite food, and they can share it with everybody. So we just get a glimpse of everybody's culture. So the same as my culture, being Mexican American, everybody else in their heritage and their cultures can do the same.
Okay, so I'll give you a quick story on my introduction to Mexican food, Tex-Mex food. I'm originally from New Orleans. Okay. And when I grew up in New Orleans, you really don't get good Mexican food in New Orleans back then. Now it's totally different. But back then, back in the late, mid to late 70s, we didn't have a lot. So we moved here to Houston, and my mom brings home this bottle of something. It's like red stuff in a bottle, and she pulls out these chips. She goes, "You got to try this." And she pours me, it's my first time trying salsa and chips. I'm like, what exactly is this, and why have I not had it in my life? And it was incredible. That was my first experience. Of course, growing up in Houston, getting immersed in all the food culture here. You know, you go down the east side of town, you drive down Navigation, you have the original Ninfa's there, but it's really all those little taquerias that you can stop by to really get into it. So if you're looking for some great food, you're in the side of town to get it too, right?
I'm pretty sure I've gained a good 10 pounds since moving here, but the food is phenomenal. You can literally go down the street and you find anything, like you said, the food, tamales, tacos, salsa, gorditas, anything you can think of, we have it in the southeast side.
Yeah, and when I leave Houston, that's what I miss the most. I'll tell you that whenever I get out of town. What is the importance of education as well in your culture? You're working in education. Obviously, that means a lot to you personally.
So for me, in my upbringing, you know, it was just a daily reminder of the value of education and how and what it holds to your name. And, you know, I just had to be thankful that I qualified for the financial support to continue my education. So my father did go to college. He got his associates in auto mechanics, recently retired after 35 years of being self-employed. And my mom also went to school. Unfortunately, she didn't get to finish, but she is continually in the field of education as a paraprofessional at elementary school. So about 10 years after I graduated from getting my bachelor's degree, it came to me, you know, who am I? How can I be an example to other Hispanic women, Hispanic girls wanting to do the same for any other people that in the judge seat, anybody you can think of. So 10 years fast forward from 2010, I went to get my master's degree. So I got my master's degree in 2021, and I do have a twin sister. I love her to death. So she also did the program with me. So I was at that point, and I was like, is this where I stop? Do I continue? I'm already here at this moment. I know how to study. I know how to write papers. So sure enough, I continue my education. Here I am going to start my second year in my doctorates. And, you know, I guess Dr. Marisa Benitez has a cool ring to it, right? So, hey, maybe in another year and a half. But, you know, it's the thing where I can hear my grandparents who grew up in Mexico saying, "Si se puede, you can do it," and just make us proud. You know what I think of it? And you know, Todd, I'm continuing my education just to be an example, like I said earlier, to everybody and every woman, every little girl, Latina, whatever culture, whatever heritage you're in, you know, just to continue your education. And it is in store for everyone. So, yeah.
Marisa, I mentioned something about the Southeast College. We've got about a minute and a half left, but maybe you can tell us some of the events you have going on to help students celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month.
Of course. I mean, I sort of mentioned the catwalk earlier, but that gives us an opportunity to see the different cultures and how they dress and what type of food they love to eat. I know we do the tamales and the mole, menudo, but from different cultures, you have the pupusas, you know, you have Salvadorian food and all the different types of cultures. And it's so delicious. I know we all love food, but another event that's really cool is that here in the art gallery in the second floor, the Learning Hub, they're going to be showcasing artifacts. So students and faculty are able to bring artifacts from pictures to pottery, fabrics, arts, and just pictures and photos of their family. And just so we can reflect on their different culture traditions and see how different it was growing up from different cultures.
Marisa Benitez, she's the interim advising manager at Southeast College, soon to be Dr. Marisa Benitez. Good for you. Congratulations on that. We got to get you back on some of our shows here, okay?
Yes, of course. Thank you, Todd. Definitely.
Thank you for being here this afternoon and joining us live on the topic. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we return, we'll continue our discussion of Hispanic Heritage Month by going out to the Southwest College. Stay tuned. The topic returns in 60 seconds.
Sometimes what you need just shows up. Houston Community College has your back, whether you're knocking out some basics or upping your game for a better job. Enroll today for spring classes and frame your future with HCC.
For more than a year, we have kept you informed with more than 500 remote episodes. But now we're back, bigger and better with more news and more guests. Join us live every weekday at 10 a.m. on Facebook and YouTube, and on HCC TV at noon and 5 p.m. You can watch from anywhere. We go where you go. Welcome back to The Topic, live on Tuesday afternoons, and we're usually live about 1 p.m. every Tuesday afternoon on Facebook Live, and you can always catch the rebroadcast on HCC TV. Look for us in social media and find us under Houston Community College District, including you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you can download audio versions of our shows. They're available as podcasts as hccs.edu/podcasts. We're talking about Hispanic Heritage Month, and right now we're joined by Carlos Martinez Jr., the College Operations Officer at the Southwest College. Carlos, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Todd. How are you?
I'm great. It's good to see you again, as always. Want to ask you, same thing we started off with Marisa. Tell us personally what Hispanic Heritage Month means to you.
Sure. I think Marisa touched base on pretty much all the points, but just to reiterate, family, culture, the food, like she said, are mainly the big things that we, and religion are the big things that we celebrate as a Hispanic culture. I can tell you growing up, as a kid, I remember all of us gathering, and we still do to this day at our ranch down in South Texas, from Kingsville, Texas, actually. And all the family gets together. Now we've all grown from 14 cousins into further, everybody's gotten their little ones around now. So we just keep growing and growing and continue to pass on the memories and the traditions.
How do you see, do you think we do enough here at HCC in celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month and the way it is expressed? What do you see about that?
So I started here February 2020, right before COVID. So I have an experience, a student life experience, and the campus is being back live and with all this excitement and energy going on. So we've here at Southwest have had different events. We kicked it off on September 15th with a guest speaker who came in and spoke to students, faculty, and staff. And then we had a festival also, and we provided different foods from our culture. So we had flautas and quesadillas and just their traditional Mexican style food.
And how did your Hispanic background contribute to your choice of careers, especially working in education?
Sure. I think, well, my grandfather came over into Texas, United States at a very young age. I think he was a teenager, looking for a better opportunity in life for his family. And so that has carried on. All his my aunts are all teachers. So, I grew up in a family that is full of educators. And so it was just something that we always knew that's what I was going to do. Once I got out of college, I started working in higher ed and financial aid. I was bilingual, so I was able to assist the first generation families that were coming through and making sure that they understood everything of what went into the financial aid package and what they would have to pay back, and making sure that they had a full understanding whenever they were signing those documents. And it was rewarding to see the families come through like that, finally understand, and not only see that students sit there with you scared, but also see them graduate. And so that's the whole reason why we're here. Have them get into a better society level and just help out to their community in whichever way they can.
And how would you mentor young Hispanics? What would you tell them as they're entering college today?
I would tell them the one thing that nobody can ever take away from you, which is an education. So your degree, your diploma can get you as far as you want to go. And if you want to go further, there's different programs out there that you can continue your education. I actually will finish my master's here December 22nd. And like Marisa, I plan on going and continuing on through, since I'm already in the hang of things. So having those degrees just is a symbolized to my culture, my family, the sacrifices that they did for me to be able to be here at this level.
So one day we'll be calling you Dr. Carlos Martinez.
Hopefully in the near future.
All right, we're gonna hold you to that. So yeah, you said it on TV now, so it has to be true now.
Dr. Barilla is gonna like that. She's gonna hold me
like that. We gave a shout out to the east side of town, especially for their food culture, but we can't ignore the southwest part of town. Now's your time to talk about the places, the culture, and specifically the southwest part of Houston and what that means to the HCC community.
Sure. Well, Southwest, we like Houston, and as well as HCC, we're diverse in so many ways, with so many coming to the table and bringing in their own cultures. Southwest is the same. So we have multi-diverse communities that we service, and provide education to. And we just try to make sure that we tap into and we're celebrating all different cultures throughout the year, and making sure that everybody feels welcome here at Southwest College.
You guys also have a wide array of programs at the Southwest College that you can offer, but specifically, you offer a number of things in IT, computer science, things along those lines. Maybe you can talk just real briefly, some of the programs that you guys are really proud of there at the Southwest College.
So, and speaking with that, and being Hispanic Heritage Month, we actually have a lot of bilingual programs that are English and Spanish speaking. So during the COVID time, we built out 2 new labs for electrical here, at one at West Loop and then one at Brazen Oaks, and they both teach bilingual courses. We also have bilingual manufacturing courses over at our Stafford campus. And so those are some ways that we reach back out to the community, and we get feedback from them on things that we can improve and how we can, provide a better service to them. And one of the things was to get these programs in different languages.
Well, that's interesting that you brought that, because I used to work at the Southwest College many years ago, long before your time here. And we had just started, we launched a bilingual program for welding, which was very popular. And those classes really filled up very fast. Are they still very popular out there? Because it sounds like you're getting a lot of play out of those.
We are, and right now our workforce programs, which are mainly these type of programs that we do offer bilingual in. Right now there's money on the table from COVID that we're trying to, get these grants to these students and get the word out so that we can get them into the program, get them the education and the training that they need so that they can go back out into our community and just help make it a better place to live.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because I don't think we mention it enough. We always talk about how affordable community colleges are, but right now particularly is a great time to go to HCC. You can talk to Dr. Michael Webster. He always says there's money out there. And as you mentioned, there sounds like there's still money to pay for a lot of these courses.
Yes, and I feel, if they have any questions, they can call. We have virtual services online as well as in person here at the campuses. And, if they have any questions, we'll guide them through the process, let them know what's available, have them complete the FAFSA, the TASFA, and then go from there and see what grants are available to these students or prospective students.
Carlos Martinez, Jr., he's the College Operations Officer at Southwest College. Congratulations on the end of December. Good luck towards your master's, and we want to see that doctorate as well, all right?
Sounds good. Thank you, Todd. Thank you, guys.
All right, I'll call Dr. Brullo for you.
Sounds good.
All right. Thanks, Carlos. Thanks for being here. Hey, we're going to take a short break. When we return, we'll talk about Hispanic Heritage Month from a student perspective. The topic returns in 60 seconds.
Sometimes what you need just shows up. Houston Community College has your back, whether you're knocking out some basics or upping your game for a better job. Enroll today for spring classes and frame your future with HCC.
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars. But now I get to search for life in the universe. And who knows, maybe life is looking for us too.
So we're like aliens to them?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Maybe we can find aliens.
Things could be stranger, but I don't know how. I'm going through changes, through all of the strangeness. I'm going through changes now.
Welcome back to the topic. I'm Todd Duplantis, and we're live this Tuesday afternoon, as we are most Tuesday afternoons with a live version of the show. You can catch us on Facebook Live at 1 p.m. on Tuesdays, most Tuesdays when HCC is in session. The rebroadcast of our show, always you can catch it on HCC TV. Check your cable provider for that. And you can follow us in social media at Houston Community College District. Stick around, because later at the end of the show, I'll tell you how you can download the audio podcasts of the show. We're talking about Hispanic Heritage Month this afternoon on the topic. And right now, we're joined by one of our students. Juan Zavala serves as Parliamentarian for the Southwest Student Government Association. Welcome, Juan. Good to see you.
Oh, Todd, thank you for having me.
Let's talk a little bit about SGA. First off, for people who don't know, what is a parliamentarian and what do you do?
So the parliamentarian takes care of the SGA Constitution and keeps order in like meetings and general assemblies and such with Robert's Rules of Order. It's also, the parliamentarian is also the right-hand man of the president, which helps, taking care of anything that has to do with policies of HCC or just the SGA Constitution in general.
Do you ever during your meetings have to jump in and say, okay, stop guys, we need to go back to this? Do you ever find yourself doing that?
Yes, sir. Yes, I have. So we follow the Robert's Rules of Order. And
yeah,
since we do have new officers at the moment, they are learning how to, go on about that and use it right. So I do have to jump in quite a lot. Say like I yield the floor to Madam President, or I move this discussion. We still have a little trouble doing that, but we're making great progress so far.
we might need you at a board of trustees meeting in the future. They could use a little bit of that as well. But tell us a little bit about the SGA and what exactly you guys do for our students.
All right, sure thing, Todd. The SGA is the Student Government Association here at HCC, where our mission is to voice the needs and concerns of the students, connect students to free resources on campus, and bridge the gap between the administration and the student body. So what I and the new group of officers have done recently to promote the students' voice is hosting general assemblies, where we gather students and speak on desired topics over what they would like to see. We have also done a bit of tabling, where officers will go around the campus and ask questions to students about any needs or concerns they might have, which in my opinion has been really successful.
Let's talk about some of those needs and concerns. Are there, what are some of the things that students are asking you guys for, some of the reoccurring requests?
Well, the most recent one has to be a charging station for the student lounge, because they need to charge their phones.
Sure.
But regarding like the students and cultures and such, they have asked to give more food, like cultural food like halal, and also provide more of how do you say it, like languages, like have copies of what we give out in different languages, like Spanish, English. So, right. That
seems like requests that have been going on. So that's good to hear. That's what students are needing right now. I know the food situation has always been a big request across the campuses, so I can understand that. I want to ask you how HCC has helped you embrace your Hispanic heritage.
Sure. So HCC has helped me embrace my Hispanic heritage through the incredibly diverse population of students and administration. I have met so many new friends and members from so many other backgrounds, including those of Hispanic heritage. And the inclusion of the Spanish language in paperwork, documents, flyers, etc., has also helped me embrace my Hispanic heritage. Of course, not to forget the wonderful Hispanic Heritage Month events that are occurring everywhere throughout HCC Southwest.
How does HCC prove to be an inclusive environment for all of our cultures and backgrounds?
Well, HCC, from what I've seen during my time as a student leader, has the inclusion of multiple languages, from Spanish to Hindi, and not only paperwork, but with the administration as well, especially the administration. And as I have said before, the population is very diverse. I cannot stress that enough. There are people from various backgrounds who are all, for the most part, friendly and eager to share insight into their cultures. The events that occur are also very diverse and neutral, where they do not focus on only one thing, such as the recent Hispanic Heritage Month events and various international student events.
As a student leader, how do you become a voice for everyone, for people with all backgrounds?
Well, since I already have a passion for helping and being a leader for others, in order to be a voice for students of all backgrounds, I plan to create various events that focus on the various backgrounds. I will include many different aspects, such as like food that is halal, like I mentioned, versions of handouts that include other languages, and promote event ideas that are neutral and are for everyone, regardless of differences. I will also, of course, hear anyone out over their needs and concerns and plan accordingly for the better of the HCC Southwest community.
Now, what do you think non-Hispanic people perceive Latin culture as versus what it really is? So what's the perception versus reality, in your opinion?
Right. So, sorry. Some people might assume that Latin culture is based only on food or music or even just religion. But although they are indeed huge parts of what makes Latin culture, they are not the only thing. Values such as family and respect are high concepts that can be seen everywhere among Hispanics alike. Having a strong work ethic is also something that is encouraged and valued, since it is believed to bring pride and joy to us individually and to our families. Of course, we can't forget our festive spirit. We love to host festivals that mark a spot in history, such as quinceañeras, Dia de los Muertos, Cinco de Mayo, and more. Overall, Latin culture is more than just food and music. It is also a symbol of a strong relationship with the people around us and ourselves.
Juan, you're an inspiration for us all, a fine example of our students. We appreciate you being here. In the future, where are you hoping to go with your college career? What do you hope to be doing maybe 10 years from now?
Well, right now I'm planning to transfer to the University of Houston, the main campus, and study more on electrical engineering.
All right,
just
electrical engineering. Good deal, man. All right. Juan,
Yes,
we
sir.
appreciate you being here. Good luck with the SGA and your college career, and we hope to hear from you in the future.
Of course. Thank you again for having me here, Todd. Nice talking
All
to
right.
you.
Thank you. And thanks to all of you for joining us on the topic this afternoon. You know, as I mentioned before, you can download audio versions of all of our shows. They're available to download at hccs.edu/podcasts. That's going to wrap up this week's show. Happy Hispanic Heritage Month to you all. We'll see you next week, next Tuesday, live right here on the topic.
Enfoca tu futuro con HCC. Inscríbete hoy para las clases de primavera.
That one day at PE when they were like yelling at me and then you just linked arms with me. I don't think you know how much like that helped me. I finally like knew that I had somebody.
Hey Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry, I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Today I'm going to talk to you about physics. Come on in, girls. Let's go. This is the first rocket to get humans to Mars.
Really tall.
I'm a rocket structural engineer, designing and building parts of the rocket. You are the generation that will be stepping foot on Mars. Do I have a group of astronauts on my hands?
Yes.
You can become a rocket scientist or whatever else you want to be.
Things could be stranger, but I don't know how. I'm going through changes now. Could spend a lifetime trying to figure it out.